Next is the distance of the superior planet. It is based upon Kepler's third law of motion, planetary motion. Johannes Kepler was the scientist who gave three laws for the describing the motion of the planets around the sun. The distance of a superior planet. This method is based upon the third law of Kepler, which says that square of the time period of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of the orbit. Again, it says that square of the time period of a planet of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to cube of semi-major axis A of the orbit, that is t square is proportional to a cube. We know that orbit of any planet around the sun is not exact circle, but it is an elliptical in shape. We know that for a circle, if we draw two perpendicular diameters, then the length of these two perpendicular diameters is exactly equal to the same. But the shape of the orbit of a planet around the sun is not circle, but it is elliptical in shape, like this. So ellipse is just like a depressed circle. So when an ellipse is formed, for it the two perpendicular diameters xx dash and yy dash, they are not the same. One gets bigger in size, we call it as the major axis, xx dash is the major axis. One gets smaller in size, which is known as the minor axis, and both intersect each other at the point O. So if we measure the distance from O to x or O to x dash, this distance we call it as the semi-major axis. If we measure the distance from O to y or O to y dash, we call it as the semi-minor axis. For this elliptical shape, there are two foci points, two focus point, one present at over here, one at over here. Sun can be present at any point over here or over here. So we have considered the sun to be present over this point, and the planet is revolving around the sun in this elliptical orbit. So as it is revolving around the sun, its distance also goes on increasing from the sun, or it may also decrease when it is approaching near the sun. In order to measure the distance of a superior planet, what we do, we take the help of a reference planet. For reference planet, T2 is the time taken by the planet to move around the sun to complete its one orbit, and A2 is the semi-major axis of the reference planet. Let A1 is the semi-major axis of a planet whose distance we want to measure, and let T1 is time period of the planet, time taken by the planet to complete one orbit around the sun. So if this is the case, if we apply the Kepler's third law for the given planet, T1 will be proportional to A1 cube, T2 will be proportional to A2 cube, dividing T2 square over T1 square becomes equal to A2 cube over A1 cube, or the distance of the superior planet from the sun, that is A2, is equal to A1 into T2 divided by T1 raised to power 2 by 3. So in this way we can find out the distance of a superior planet. Now last, this diameter of a moon or any planet. When we want to find out the diameter of a moon or any planet, again we make use of the parallax method. So here we are standing at a single point, on one point on the surface of Earth. AB is the planet or the moon whose diameter AB equal to D we want to measure. So in this case, we are present at a point O on the surface of Earth. First we focus our astronomical telescope at one diametric end of the moon or the planet at the point A. Then we turn the focus of the astronomical telescope towards the point B, so that AB, the diameter of the moon, it act as our basis separated by having distance d, which subtends a parallactic angle theta at point O on the surface of Earth. So again, using the same old definition of angle, theta equal to length of arc over radius of arc, AB over OB equal to d by s, or d will be equal to s into theta. So if we know the distance of the moon from the earth or the planet from the earth, by measuring this parallactic angle we can find out the diameter of that moon or the planet also.